Everybody says that there is no alternative to corporation tax continuing in more or less the same format that it is now, a tax on corporate profits. Now, my challenge to that is that in an increasingly digital world, I think it's going to become increasingly problematic of saying where those profits, what activity those profits come from. Is it the delivery of the goods? Is it the website? Is it where the customers are based? And other alternatives should be examined to see whether something may be more focused on sales revenues and employment income that are a better conduit or a better way to measure corporate profits of what the public want to see taxed than the existing structure of corporation tax with arm's length transfer pricing, which is a very difficult concept to get to, as was proven in the Roundtable. But I think we already have examples of two alternatives. One, in the United States, there's been an organisation called an S Corporation that millions of American businesses are, and those basically ignore the fact that there's a company and tax the profits on the shareholders. It means the shareholders have to face one level of tax and not two. But that's a higher level of tax because personal taxes are higher than corporation taxes. So that's one thing we could examine, whether we could have that in the UK and maybe increase the criteria gradually to apply to more businesses with larger numbers of shareholders, etc. The other avenue is looking at particular industry sectors, and someone made the point about the taxation of shipping, which pays tonnage taxes rather than paying corporation tax. The example I would use that I'm more familiar is commercial property investments, taxed as real estate investment trusts, and they are required to make distributions of profits to their shareholders, otherwise there's a penalty tax if they don't. And those distributions are then taxed in the hands of the shareholders. So although they pay no corporation tax, still the business profits generated are being taxed directly on the investors that are the owners of the corporations. And I think both of these should be looked, even if you can't move to them overnight, how could we make more progress to both of those regimes that are well established in the UK and the US in the first example, and how we could look to increase that position, because I think that gets more of an identity and takes an extra layer of tax out. And often businesses don't mind have one layer of tax. It's where you've got the interface and different rules between corporate taxes, taxation of dividends, taxation of bonuses. So having one tax would be a move in the right direction.